All right, so let's go over some examples of composite functions when you have more than two functions. So here we're going to figure out what g of f of h of 1/2 is. So I always recommend working from the inside out. So the innermost function here is h of 1/2. So we want to figure out what h of 1/2 is first. And for that, all you have to do is plug 1/2 into the function for h of x. And so that's just going to be 2 to the 1/2, which is just the square root of 2. So then what you have really here is now g of f of the square root of 2. I'm going to switch pens here because blue's not working. Okay, so now let's figure out what f of the square root of 2 is. So what we do here is now just plug in the square root of 2 into the equation for f of x. So you plug square root of 2 into x here. So all you're going to then get is square root of 2 squared, which just becomes 2 because you know any number squared, or the square root of any number squared becomes whatever that number is. So then now you just got g of 2. And all you have to do now is plug the 2 into g of x. So then you get 2 times 2 minus 1, or 4 minus 1, and your answer would then be 3. Okay, so let's go over one now where you don't actually have an input or a value for x. So let's look at this one. Number 6, we're going to get f of g of x, just like this. These ones tend to usually get students off guard because they're like, what the heck? They think it's a typo because there's no number in for x. So all you have to do is think of g of x as the input, because that's really what it is, and rewrite it with the equation for g of x. In other words, the equation for g of x is 2x minus 1. So this simply becomes f of 2x minus 1. And then this is the input for f. And what we do to the input for f is we square the input, because it's saying x squared, f of x equals x squared. So then what happens here is you get 2x minus 1 squared as f of 2x minus 1. And then we evaluate this. You can multiply it out using FOIL or however you want to do it. 2x times 2x, 4x squared, 2x times negative 1 minus 2x, minus 1 minus 2x, minus 1 plus 1. And then we get 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 as the final answer. So you're not going to get a number for these ones. You're just going to get an expression, or I guess an equation, you could say. So don't let this like throw you off. It's really the same idea. So let me go through one more with you all so you can really see some examples. So for number 7, let's do it the other way now. Let's have g of f of x. So now in this case, f of x is on the inside. So you're gonna have g of, and now we just put the equation for f of x on the inside like we did here. The equation for f of x is x squared. And so you have g of x squared, just like that. And then you just plug that x squared into the input here. So it's really just 2 times x squared minus 1. And that's all there is to it. And you know what? Actually, if you want some more practice, let me put 2 more up here. And what you should do is you should pause the video after you write them down and try them on your own. See if you got them, because these ones can, again, drive some students crazy. Because let me put this one. So number 8, g of x. And let's do one more, number 9. F of h of x now. F of h of x. So pause the video and try them first on your own if you want, and then I'll go through them. Or then you can unpause it because I'm going to go through them right now. Okay, so for 8, we have g of x. So you're basically going to do the function of the function, but again, just don't overthink this. G of x is equal to 2x minus 1. So what you're doing is taking g of 2x minus 1. Now, like what the hell did you do here? Well, this 2x minus 1 is just the input. Instead of x, it has a 2x minus 1. So instead of the x on this side, this x becomes a 2x minus 1 because the input is there now. It's kind of just like just think logically. It becomes 2 times 2x minus 1 minus 1. That's all there really is to it. Like if I put a z there, a z would be there. If I put a q would be there. So now you just simplify this. So 2x times 2x, 4x minus 2 minus 1. You have 4x minus 3 for that. Okay, and then for number 9, the input is h of x, f of h of x. So we're going to have f of, the equation for h of x is just 2 to the x. So f of 2 to the x. So again, the input here is x, and what you're doing to the input is squaring it. So you're going to square this. You're going to have essentially 2x squared. 2x times 2x, you can think of, or it's just going to be, you can use power rule, whatever, whichever style you like. This makes it much easier. Just 2 to the 2x as your final answer. So that's all there is to it. All right, so I hope that helps.